All right, so early on we had Revenant, aka Marcus Tan, and now we have, if I'm not wrong, Ian Ang. Yes, I'm right. Okay, I've seen you too many times. So we have Ian, also known as Muse from the StarCraft II scene, also coincidentally Revenant's teammate. Well, you made it through to what, round 6 was it, of the winners bracket, I think.
I can't remember, but I think it was round 4 or 5.
Yeah, around 4 or 5 before getting knocked out once again by Marcus. It always seems like you guys meet in the finals, quarters, because the past 4 or 3 tournaments that I've seen them together, it's always been TKing in the quarterfinals. Well, okay, we'll start off the interview really quickly because I know you have to rush off. How was the tournament so far, in your opinion? Because the best of one format, that's what a lot of people are talking about, the best of one format, especially in the losers bracket, where, you know, like I was telling Marcus, it's extremely stressful to be knocked into the losers bracket, but then, you know, it adds so much more pressure where, you know, you have one chance left and you can't screw that one map up. And the thing is, everyone knows that certain maps are favorable towards certain races. So, how was your experience in the losers bracket?
Yeah, I would agree that the best of one makes it much more volatile. And yeah, like I lost in the lower bracket to someone who I think I shouldn't have lost to because I played the game too safe. Because yeah, it's best of one, and he played it a little greedy, and yeah, as a result, yeah, I lost it. But I feel that because of the time constraint, actually, I feel that we could actually have a best of 3 in the lower bracket. Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, but it's up to the organizers. I think this is the first time I've seen best of 1 in the lower brackets. It's quite an okay change, but I still don't know. I didn't really put much thought into it, if it's fair or unfair to anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. The scene itself, the SC2 scene, but not just the SC2 scene, the eSports scene itself in Singapore. We're not going to talk about Southeast Asia because I did ask Marcus about that, but just Singapore itself. It's been something of a confusing thing for especially esports pioneers. It's been something of a very troublesome animal, in that sense. To put it in I guess you could call it a metaphorical sense. But what would you, if you had to do something, or okay, I'll put it down to 3 things. If you had to implement 3 things to better the esports scene in Singapore, what would they be?
To me, I think the esports scene in Singapore is almost non-existent at the moment. Maybe except for Dota, yeah. But in the past, we used to have HD Phoenix hosting a lot of monthly tournaments. I think that really helped. And to me, I can see a lot of rising stars in Singapore right now. We should, of course, first of all, we should have more tournaments. I think most companies are quite willing to sponsor. It's just that the organizers have to go out and actually ask, the sponsors to, for cash or prizes for the tournaments, make it better. And I think the LAN shops have to be better as well. Like, make sure people behind you, when you're playing, make sure people behind you can't disturb you or anything. I think that's quite important. Yeah. And more coverage as well. Coverage is very important for the growth of esports.
All right, fair enough. In Southeast Asia, it's really fragmented in the sense that you have certain groups of countries in Southeast Asia, but it's quite hard to unite all of the, I guess, countries and whatnot compared to maybe in the States or in Europe or in Australia, you know, Australia and New Zealand, where it's big and it's a lot easier, apparently. But what do you think in your mind is the biggest obstacle right now that is stopping the Southeast Asian scene from actually uniting?
Actually, I'm not too sure, but in terms of talent, I think that talent is breeded. It's not what do you call it? It's not nature. I feel that talent can actually be nurtured. So, like, just take for example the North America scene. When StarCraft just started there, like, not many players were. I mean, the only player who could be compared to the Koreans was Hydra. And right now you see so many North American players who can actually compete with the Koreans somehow, on the same level. And I think the reason behind that is because of the amount of money put into the North American scene, such as NASL, IPL. Yeah, there's a lot of money put inside, and with more money put inside, you get more talents. So the tournament organizers and people who are running, pushing esports forward, like my boss Terrence, should, they are the one who are going to make this work. It's not up to us players. Yeah, we can train. For Singaporeans, we have school, we have work, we have army. So there's no way that we can actually there's no way that we can actually play this game professionally if we do not have any backing for it.
Right, I guess the point that you're trying to bring across is just the continuation of the community, building up the infrastructure from the ground up, and then giving players the chance to, have more tournaments.
More support.
Yeah, more support and kind of that kind of along that line. All right, we're just going to cut it a bit short now. We do something very interesting that we've started doing is I'll give you one question. You can ask me one question as the interviewee, and I will answer that question as honestly as possible. So think about your one question, and I will answer that question. See, they're all thinking of all the evil things they can ask me. Eh?
No, I'll ask an appropriate question.
Okay.
So, what do you think of Flash right now? Your honest opinion.
My honest opinion of Flash right now. I think Flash... Okay, my super honest opinion of Flash. Flash has the potential to be one of those great organizations like the End. Where you had Titans, you had GBR, you had Rage Faction. It has the players to do it. But I think, if you want me to be super honest, it lacks a certain vision that can propel it to the next level. The resources are there, the support is there, the leadership is all there, players are all there, talent is all there. But it's just, I think it lacks a certain goal to really propel it through the, mid to short term. Because to get to that long-term goal, it's really hard. And usually, if esports companies, like for example, Fnatic or SK Gaming, the work of Sam Matthews for Fnatic and SK Gaming, and, for Tech9, you have Steve Lunans. They all had that certain spark where they saw very early on what they needed to do, and they worked at it very quickly. And I think that's one weak aspect that Flash has. But apart from that, like I mentioned, all the other pros that were there, that's what I think about Flash. All right, so thank you very much, Mr. Ian. Any shoutouts?
Ref, stop hacking.
Okay. Rev actually asked us about what I thought about you. Now, I'll do the same thing for you. What do you actually think about your teammate, Revenant, not only from this tournament, but overall, both his pros and his cons?
Did he talk about me, or did you talk about me?
Well, I think it was both ways, but yeah, just in that sense, what do you think of him in your most honest, brutal opinion?
Okay, in terms of his pros, he has a lot of pros as a gamer. I think, in terms of pure talent, I think that both him and I, they are right at the top of Southeast Asia in terms of pure talent. Like, even compared to Australians or even Americans, I feel that, yeah, they really have the pure... It's very hard to explain it. It's like they have the flair, the natural flair for it.
Okay.
And he works really hard as well. Rev. Yeah. I think that he'll be very disappointed with his results today, even though he got 4th place. I would have expected him to get 1st or 2nd. Yeah, it's a toss-up between him and Ice. His cons as a gamer. I can't really think of it. Okay.
Okay, if you had to point out one, negative, it's bad to be negative, but to be a very constructive critic. It might sound bad, but it's something that at the end of the day is good for the masses and good for the player himself. So if you had to single in on one flaw, what would it be?
Constructive criticism. As a gamer, I don't really think he works hard. He has a lot of talent. Maybe sometimes he should take the game easier, like more carefree manner, so that he will not be that disappointed when he loses. Because like when he lost at WCG, that was a huge upset. Even though he got 4th again, he was really devastated for a long time, because that was supposed to be his 3rd WCG medal, but he didn't get it. So yeah, you should take the game a little easier since he's not actually playing it professionally. Yeah, that's what I feel.
Right, I guess it's the same thing for anything else. You know, you play it for the passion, and the minute you lose, you're not playing it for that passion. Even if you're doing it professionally, you know, it just becomes a job. It becomes work, and you know, it's just not fruitful. But once again, thank you very much, bro. I will see you very soon. And there we go. You have it. Another interview. Stay tuned for more videos from NGNT.